Welcome, nerds, to another reaction. We're reacting to the new AFI track. It's Behind the Clock is the new track. It's the video for said new track, so we're going to get to that. Before we get into any of that stuff, okay, so I know this one's going to get a lot of pushback. So I got some stuff to get out of the way before we do we're not even going to do the sponsors or ads or anything like that just yet. We have a couple of bona fides to get out of the way, and then also a different bona fide, a different qualification, if you will. First and foremost, I have been a musician to some degree for most of my life, not my adult life, most of my entire life. So we're pushing 30 years plus at this point, as far as my musician training is concerned. I also went to school to produce music. So as a producer, I have been a professional producer for some time. I finished school in 2005. So technically for about 20 years. I did technically get paid before I was done with school. So, X, Y, and Z. But went to school for it, have produced other bands, not just my own. Have been a professional musician for slightly longer than I have been a professional producer. So we're going to say about 15 to 20 years as far as my professional musician career is concerned. Also have been producing videos and things of that nature, visual arts in that direction. For about a decade, a little over a decade, probably about 12 years, 10 to 12 years as far as that is concerned. So I have experience, I have knowledge. I welcome anyone criticizing my criticisms. That is a great way to have a conversation. That is really a big part of the reason why I do this. So please do contribute. I don't care if you're overly negative. I will be overly negative back. I promise. But also don't think you're going to come in with some sort of gotcha because you think you know more than I do. You potentially have more knowledge in a certain area than I do, but really after a certain point, it's going to be a matter of taste. But the other qualification I needed to get out of the way, aside from just me knowing what the hell I'm talking about, is a musician and an appreciator of music and a producer of music, is I am a fan of AFI. I need to say that because I don't think this is going to be the most glowing review of new AFI music. I am a fan. I have been a fan since the days of Art of Drowning. That was the first record of theirs that was shown to me. It wasn't given to me, sadly. I had to go find it on my own, but was shown to me, and I fell in love damn near immediately. So went and bought the Art of Drowning, immediately also bought Black Sails in the Sunset. As soon as Sing the Sorrow came out, I was all over that, and then kind of started to fall off around about December Underground. I think Sing the Sorrow, Art of Drowning, and Black Sails in the Sunset, and you can throw in the All Hallows EP in there as well, are probably some of the best punk, and I guess you could kind of quantify Art of Drowning or Sing the Sorrow as post-punk emo-ish. Easily some of the best examples of those genres, whatever genre they were shooting for. AFI sat at the top for that time. Crash Love is a good rock and roll record. Not the best. I'm not a huge fan of that record, but like I have seen AFI probably a dozen times live. Every time it is amazing, regardless of what song they're playing. They always put 5,000% into their performance. I love it. I got to interview Adam years ago for a different podcast, which was awesome. Adam is the drummer, for anyone who doesn't know. I'm a fan. The Bodies record was okay. The Blood record was good. What was the one that had Burials? I think that was Blood. Or was the name of the record Burials? I Hope You Suffer was on Burials. Yeah, Burials was also a pretty good record. I don't think they're ever going to be able to top, in my in my opinion, I think the best records they put out were Black Sails and Art of Drowning. Those, probably because the time in my life that I found them, was my adolescence, and that's kind of when you form your musical opinions and so on and so forth. Art of Drowning, I think, is the inferior of the two. I think Black Sails is by far the best thing they've ever put out, but Art of Drowning is definitely very, very close second. That being said, I also have a great appreciation for the fact that they have evolved with every record. Matter of fact, you could make the argument that the least amount of evolution from record to record was from Black Sails to Art of Drowning, because those two records sound and feel so very similar. Like, they could almost, in the catalog of AFI, they could be almost the same, like version part 1 and part 2 of the same album. And then All Hallows is an extension of the two of them. All Hallows is really an extension of Art of Drowning, but kind of the two of them as well. So that is to say, I'm a fan. I love AFI. I think Davey Havok is an amazing vocalist. I think Jade Puget is a fantastic songwriter and riff writer. And I don't know that he's an excellent guitar player. Like, to say, like, he's not technically blistering. He's no Jason Richardson. Like, he's not shredding on his guitar. He writes incredibly effective music. He performs very well, though we'll probably talk about his choreography at some point in this reaction, I'm sure. But like, I think that all of those, Hunter is one of the best punk rock bass players I've ever heard. Just the dude kills it. Adam, by far, has some of the best chops in the genre as well, behind the drums. I love this band. I'm going to see them again very, very soon. Within the next month, I'm going to see them again, or month and a half. So that's kind of to get out of the way. Oh, you're just a hater. No, I'm not a hater. You're just a old school fan. Kind of. I guess you could make that argument. The other argument I'm going to hear probably is I'm some sort of gatekeeper or something like that, I'm sure. Though I could just be doing all of this for naught. I could really, really like the track. I don't know. I have heard a very small snippet of this, and this is another evolution in the sound of AFI. I know that much for sure. But I have not heard the entire song, so this is still a legitimate reaction. That being said, let's do the merch. Check out the merch. That design right there on screen, the Phantom Nerd, I'm super proud of that design. Go check it out. Links in the description. Also, channel partner Dubby, one of the best energy drink makers out in the game right now. Their s'mores flavor is by far my favorite energy drink flavor ever. I cannot sing its praise enough. So, all of that being said, we do have, I already kind of covered my history with the band out of necessity. Also, let's talk about some expectations. Like I said, I have heard a snippet of this, so it sounds like they're turning, you could say Black Sails and Art of Drowning and All Hallows are like goth punk. By the subject matter, by the visuals, by, kind of the way where the band was in a lot of ways at the time of those 2.5 records, those 2 records and the 1 EP. Goth punk, sure, that makes sense. It's got an element of crust to it, got an element of pop to it, got an element of whatever the hell the Misfits are. Because Davey Havok for a long time thought he was Glenn Danzig's illegitimate offspring, I think. To the point where he even followed Danzig. Danzig did the band Samhain. And then Davey, after Danzig broke up left that band, Davey joined that band, and they created The Son of Sam was the name of the new band with Davey on vocals. Yeah, it's to a degree. Davey thought he was then Glenn Danzig's illegitimate offspring. And anyway, we're not going to get into that. I think it's hilarious and awesome, but not subject matter for today's video. Expectations. Goth. They're taking this in a more goth direction, and not in the same kind of gothy punk that we got on Black Sails and Art of Drowning, but in a more like Depeche Mode, Oh God, I just watched an interview with Davey where he talked about this new band that he's really been into called Sleek Teeth, and hearing again, I've heard like maybe 5 seconds of this song, hearing that little bit from that, and then listening to, I think it was the most recent release from the group Sleek Teeth. I understand it. there's almost an element of like oh no, Bela Lugosi's dead. Why can't Bauhaus? There we go. There's like a Bauhausy element to that little bit that I heard as well. So that's an expectation here as well. I also have a hope, it's not an expectation, but it's a hope that we do get a more of a taste of that punk rock side that you still see live. They still play all of that music live, and it still sounds amazing. So I'm hoping that we get some sort of return to that, because in that interview that I watched with Davey, he said that there's a lot of similar ground that he tread as far as lyrics and vocals go with this new record. So I'm hoping that sonically there's some familiar territory just in general. So that's what we got there. Let's finally get to the damn reaction. We're 11 minutes in, shall we? Okay, first and foremost, before we get too deep into the music, I really have to address the 500-pound gorilla in the room, and that is Davey's look. Because this is the look of a man who is really lost his way, maybe trying something new. I feel like the look for the last 2 records, this new record is this look, which is an evolution of the previous look. Previously, he had like this mullet thing going on. You can even see it still here in this picture, in this still that we have. The mullet, though, wasn't really just like the Tennessee waterfall that you normally see people wearing mullets, or the new modern mullet where they kind of keep it short, and so it's like maybe it's a mohawk, maybe it's a mullet, because they like shave the sides, but they also keep the top and the back almost the same length, but not quite, because it is a mullet. So Davey had that going, but instead of the back being that, it was braids that went down to about the middle of his back or just past his shoulders. So you can still see he's kept the braids. He has a perm. He has, in this video, now I think since they filmed this video, he has shaved the sideburn mutton chops going on, and then he has this giant 70s porno stash. I will not ever claim to be up on fashion or like understand fashion. This to me seems misguided. Even in the world of fashion, this does not seem like a direction that anything like that is going. Davey is a very fashionable man. Davey is a very trendy man. Davey is almost, you could argue, a trendsetter during certain points of his career. I think those points are long behind him at this point. Okay, so that, again, 500-pound gorilla out of the way. Let's get into the actual music. Okay, so we've got some interesting stuff going on here. Very much with the Bauhaus, as far as what Adam's playing and Hunter are playing. That is very like 80s goth kind of stuff. The only thing we're really missing that would really complete that sound would be some really epic synths, which, if you've never listened to Davey and Jade's other project, Black Audio, there's some pretty epic synths in that. That's more in vein with Depeche Mode than Bauhaus, but still. Also, very much in line with Bauhaus is how this started with that baritone. Davies really never explored that on a record. Like, yeah, you'll get tastes of it here and there, but I think that's the most we've actually gotten into his baritone. He usually just has that very high, borderline alto delivery, or he's screaming. So digging that for sure. Not the AFI I fell in love with, but so far I think an AFI I can get behind for the reals. More of that baritone. Even Hunter's got a mustache now. Jade's got the full beard. Hunter's rocking the mustache. I think the only one who doesn't have facial hair these days is Adam. I'm really digging this video, too. It's super art school pretentious, but, like, I like it. Like, I am not usually one that's like, all right, artsy pretense. Let's get into it. Let's go. That's my jam. But this is like behind the door. He's talking about like things haunting, and like presumably that's related to like past issues and your demons and such. Like the on-screen presentation is very much in line with the lyrical content. I'm really, really digging the cohesion here. This is so different. Like, there's elements of the Bodies record, because that is apparently one of Davey's favorite albums that they've made, which is not one of mine. There's definitely elements there, but I really feel like they took everything that they were experimenting with on the Bodies record and perfected it, made it worth listening to, for lack of a better term, because all AFI is at least worth listening to. I'm never going to turn an AFI song off. That's just not going to happen. Some of them are a little more grating than others. I'm looking at basically everything off of the December Underground record. I just really can't get behind that, and most of the stuff off of Crash Love as well. But let's talk about the... They're doing this thing. He plays in drop D. So and they're just really vamping on that E really hard. I really like this. I really like. And then that bridge feels very, very familiar. We're retreading the chorus territory, and then they throw in a couple other things. I wasn't able to follow along super well, and now my dog won't stop barking. I apologize, but yeah, I'm digging this. Sorry, that is the next video in my playlist, which is not a music video, nor is it a video we're going to be addressing at all. I dig that. I like that a lot. Like, legitimately like that a lot. So, let's get back here. All right. We have a final verdict to discuss, to lay down. I don't know. This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting the gothy kind of dark pop feel to this, and that's what it is. It's a moody piece. It's Davey exploring new elements of his vocal that we really haven't gone into much, if at all, in previous records. I'm really here for it. So there is something to be noted about my personal musical tastes of late. I just saw Lord of the Lost for the first time a couple months ago. That was amazing. I have really been into them like hard over the last 3 years or so since I found them. Probably even longer than that now, 4 years even. And also another really big favorite of mine from the last decade, roughly, is Unto Others, which is another really gothy kind of sounding band. They're much more on the Ramones side of like their performance, but they still have super typo negative sound as well. Also, Neon Nightmare is another one that I found very recently, that I freaking love, which is legitimately like an homage to typo negative. But like, so that's what's really informing my musical choice of the last few years. So this is very much in line with that. Not only is this a band I already love, but this is a band exploring territory in a subgenre area of music that I've really been getting into myself. Like I said, I checked out that Sleek Teeth track off of just a passing reference in an interview with Davey, and I dig it for sure. They're a little bit more into the industrial side of the goth sound, but still pretty damn good. If you want to go check out another good group in that side of the music scene, like Sleek Teeth is pretty cool. It's two dudes with synthesizers and really gothy take on the world. I did not expect to like this much. I fully expect to be like, I mean, yeah, it's good. It's AFI, but I still prefer Art of Drowning or Black Sails. But I still do prefer Art of Drowning or Black Sails. But right now, in my musical taste as it pertains to this moment in time, I don't think AFI could have done anything that I would like better than this. So that's crazy. Like, again, I said it earlier in the video. I really liked the Burials record. That one was pretty cool. The Blood album, there's a couple of tracks on there that are good, but like by and large, not really notable. The Bodies record, more of the same. They did go in a more gothy kind of 80s sound for the Bodies record. But it was a little bit more pop. It's a little underdeveloped as far as like the musical ideas are concerned. So it just felt there wasn't the same catharsis that I get out of the music that I really, really love. This took all of the potential of the Bodies record and paid it off. And it's like, all right, so everything they learned from Bodies and everything that they're really into right now apparently is fairly dark and brooding, has really come to a head. And like, this is this was so good. Okay, I'm gonna stop singing its praises so hard, and we're just gonna end the damn video. Thank you very much, nerds, for joining me. I loved this. I hope you did too. Before we head out, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here. Oh man, I'm gonna go listen to this again.